Hello students, today we are going to start chapter 2 Microorganisms Friend and Foe. Microorganisms can be our friends and also our enemies. How is it possible? That is what we are going to discuss in this chapter. First of all, we can see what are microorganisms. You have seen several types of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us which we normally cannot see. These are called microorganisms or microbes. Then what are microorganisms? The organisms that we normally cannot see with our naked eyes, they are called microorganisms or microbes. They can be seen only with the help of a magnifying glass or a microscope. For example, you might have observed that during the rainy season, the moist bread gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with greyish white patches. When you observe this under a magnifying glass, you will see tiny black round structures. And this is the bread mold which comes under one group of microorganisms, that is fungus. Some microorganisms can be seen with the help of a magnifying glass, as I already told, and some can be seen only with the help of a microscope. Microorganisms are classified into four major groups. They are bacteria, fungi, and algae and protozoa. So which are the four major groups of microorganisms? They are bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa. Bacteria are of different shapes. They can be rod shaped, spiral shaped and round shaped. Here the picture what it is shown, it's a rod shaped bacteria. The second major group of microorganisms, that is the fungi. Example of fungi, that's the bread mold. The third main group of microorganisms, that is the algae. So examples of algae, they are Spirogyra and Chlamydomonas. This is the image of a Spirogyra, and another example for algae, that is Chlamydomonas. The fourth group of microorganism, that is protozoa. Two examples of protozoa are amoeba and paramecium. So amoeba, you know that in small class you must have studied it. Amoeba can be of any shape. And what is the shape of paramecium? It is the shape of a slipper. Dear students, now all of us are facing the threat of COVID-19 caused by the coronavirus. Then what are these viruses? Viruses are also microorganisms. They can be seen only with the help of a microscope. They differ from other microorganisms in certain aspects. The viruses reproduces only inside the cell of the host organism, which may be a bacterium, plant or animal. That is, a virus, they reproduces only inside the cells of the host organism, and that host organism, it can be a plant or an animal or a bacterium. And these viruses are considered as a connecting link between living and non-living organisms. There are many diseases which are caused by the viruses. Some of the diseases are common cold, cough, influenza or flu, polio, chickenpox, AIDS. So what we have learned till now, what are microorganisms, how these microorganisms are classified And what are viruses? Then the disease caused by virus. Now, next we can study where do these microorganisms live? Microorganisms, they can survive under all types of environment. And it can range from the ice cold climate to hot springs and even deserts to marshy lands. And they are also found inside the bodies of animals, including humans. Some microorganisms grow on other organisms, while some others exist freely. That means some organisms, they have to depend upon other organisms, but some microorganisms, they can live independently. And microorganisms like amoeba, they live alone. But microorganisms like fungi and bacteria, they may live in colonies. And these microorganisms, they can be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means single-celled microorganisms and also multi-celled microorganisms. And examples of single-celled or unicellular microorganisms are bacteria, protozoa, and also some algae. Some algae are example of unicellular microorganisms. But examples of multicellular microorganisms, they are most of the algae and also fungi. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some microorganisms are useful and some others are harmful, which can cause many diseases. First, we will discuss about the friendly microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in the preparation of curd, bread and cake. They are also used in cleaning up the environment. That means microorganisms help in cleaning the environment. For example, the organic waste like that of the vegetable peels, remains of animals, feces, etc. are broken down into harmless and useful substances by this bacteria. Bacteria are also used in the preparation of medicines and also to increase the soil fertility by fixing the nitrogen. Now we can study in detail how these microorganisms are beneficial to us. First one, microorganisms are helpful in making of curd and bread. Curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. So, the bacterium that helps in the conversion of milk to curd, that is lactobacillus. Another microorganism, yeast, is used in the baking industry for making bread, pastries and cakes. You know how this yeast promotes the fermentation process? Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. The bubbles of gas fill the dough and increases its volume. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries and cake. Now we can see the commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid or vinegar. So the common name of acetic acid, it is vinegar. And yeast is used for the commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, the yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juices, etc. And this process of conversion of sugar into alcohol, it's known as fermentation. What is fermentation then? The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol, it's called fermentation. Now, listen to the medicinal use of microorganisms. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules or injections such as of penicillin. The source of these medicines, it is the microorganisms. And these medicines kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. And that medicines are called as antibiotics. Then what are antibiotics? What are antibiotics? The medicines that kill or stop the growth of the disease-causing microorganisms. They are called antibiotics. Then these disease-causing microorganisms are called by the name pathogens. And these days, the number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Some of the commonly used antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria, they are streptomycin, tetracycline, erythromycin, penicillin, etc. And the antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. That means to cure many diseases, these antibiotics are being used. Antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. So these antibiotics are used in animals also, and they are also used to control many plant diseases. That is not only in humans, the animals and plants also, these antibiotics are used to control many diseases. Now we can see what are vaccines or what is meant by vaccination. When a disease carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. That means when any disease causing microorganism enter our body, the body itself produces some antibodies to fight against that microorganism or a microorganism which causes the disease. And the body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. So, if dead or weakened microbes are introduced in a healthy body, the body fights and kills them by producing suitable antibodies. And the antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes. This is how a vaccine works. And several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis, they can be prevented by vaccination. And it is essential to protect all children against these diseases. And necessary vaccines are available in the nearby hospitals, and you might have seen in the advertisement on TV and newspapers regarding the protection of children against the polio under the Pulse Polio program. And polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. You know that's only one vaccine which is given orally. It is named as oral polio vaccine. So other vaccines, they are given as injections, and here the vaccine which is given orally, not in the form of injection, that is a polio vaccine. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from most part of the world. That means the smallpox has eradicated from most part of the world now. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. And now you know that Researches are in progress to discover a vaccine for COVID-19. Now, next is the role of microorganisms in increasing soil fertility. Microorganisms are very much useful in increasing soil fertility. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increases its fertility. That means some microorganisms like bacteria and blue-green algae, they help in fixing atmospheric nitrogen. In that way, it increases the soil fertility. And these microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixers. And microorganisms are very useful in cleaning the environment. Microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals and convert them into simple substances. These substances, they are again used up by other plants and animals. Thus, the microorganisms, they can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances, and thereby it cleans the environment. And the plant waste, it has been converted into manure with the help of microorganisms. That means the microbes helps in converting the plant waste into manure. And you know, certain microorganisms, they are used in sewage treatment also. So this is all about the beneficial microorganisms. I hope the topic it is clear to you. In the next video, we will study about the harmful microorganisms. So read this lesson and try to find out the answers of the questions which are given in the exercise from the given topic. Thank you.